Terrorist attacks killed dozens at the airport and subway system in Brussels, Belgium. And breaking tonight, we've learned a Lexington native and her husband are among those missing after the attacks.
Who knows what's going to happen in the future as far as, the radicals here in Brussels, because there's so many of them.
A southern Kentucky native who now lives in Belgium says he and his family may make some changes after today's attacks.
How vandals have left an ugly mark on a central Kentucky attraction that's known for its beauty.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
More than 30 people killed, nearly 200 injured in attacks at the Brussels, Belgium airport and subway system today. And tonight we've learned a Lexington native and her husband are among those missing after the attacks.
Family members say that Stephanie and Justin Schultz were at the airport with her mother, Carolyn Moore, who was flying home after a visit. Garrett Weimer talked to Stephanie's family today. He's live at Transylvania University, where Stephanie graduated, with the breaking details. Garrett?
Yeah, I talked to family members who have gathered at the Moores home here in Lexington just to be there for each other as they wait for news about Stephanie and Justin Schultz. Stephanie graduated from Bryan Station High School and then here from Transylvania University in 2008. I'm told Stephanie's mother, Carolyn Moore, spent the last week in Belgium visiting them, where they've lived for a couple of years now, when that explosion that ripped through the terminal changed everything.
I was in line to check in, and she was sitting in the seats with her husband waiting for me to finish.
And now where is she?
I have no idea where she is.
Carolyn was supposed to fly back home to Lexington today. Instead, she's still in Brussels, waiting and recovering, while her daughter and son-in-law are missing.
I called, or my husband called, the American Embassy, and they're looking for her too.
Stephanie's aunt told me her niece works for Mars Incorporated in Belgium, and Justin goes back and forth between the U.S. and Belgium for his job. Family members here in Lexington say they were too upset to talk on camera as they anxiously await answers, just as Carolyn waits an ocean away.
I haven't gotten any information from anyone. I don't know. But this nice person, I'm just following her wherever she goes, because I can't hear out of part of my ear. And then my coat got torn. I wasn't injured though.
TV station in Nashville, where Justin is from, reports that Justin's brother says the State Department told them that Justin and Stephanie are not on the list of known casualties, and they are still unaccounted for at this time. As you might imagine, it's been a very difficult and a very long day for the family. However, they say they're trying to stay positive and have faith as they wait on news about Justin and Stephanie, and they ask that you pray for them as they wait. Live in Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
All right, Garrett, thank you for that live report. Now, here's the latest on the Brussels terrorist attacks. Authorities say that 2 bombs exploded at the city's airport. Another went off in the city's subway system, in all killing at least 31 people. At least one of the blasts was blamed on a suicide bomber. The explosion in the subway was near the European Union headquarters. The Islamic State group later claimed responsibility for today's attacks, and this comes just days after a key suspect in last November's attacks in Paris was arrested in Belgium. That man you see right there is one person, a suspect, they're looking for now. Authorities around the world are now worried about possible copycat attacks. So here in the U.S., the FBI has increased its surveillance of known terror suspects.
The most important part of a terrorist investigation is to prevent the act before it happens.
And authorities say that 3 Mormon missionaries from Utah were seriously injured in the attacks. An American service member and his family were also injured. A Corbin, Kentucky native who now lives in Belgium tells us that he was working this morning when one of the bombs exploded just a few miles from him.
It's been a stressful day for him and his family, who still lives in southern Kentucky. Phil Pendleton continues our team coverage.
Come on, let's get ready to go.
Elaine Bennett is a grandmother, spending this otherwise beautiful day with her granddaughter in Corbin. More than 4,000 miles away, her son was just 2 miles from a scene of devastation.
Well, when you first hear that, where's he at? You know, so, but he had communicated with them that he was all right.
Bennett's son Joby works for an international business. Her daughter-in-law and 7- and 2-year-old granddaughters have been in Brussels for 4 years. Joby Bennett says he feared something like this was bound to happen.
The authorities in Brussels have kind of created this, or allowed this, let's say, this environment to fester as far as giving radicals a place to live.
And Joby Bennett says that he travels quite a bit. He says it has been very unsettling to see that area in disarray. He says the terrorist didn't harm anyone in his company that he knows of, but he says the attack put a halt to a lot of his work and the people traveling to get it done. And he's questioning his role as well.
Has already started conversations, between my wife and myself as far as, do we start looking for something back in the U.S.? So we've been in Brussels for 4 years. So, and we saw this kind of building before even the migrant crisis.
Bennett says he felt safe in his office, but he says he doesn't feel safe out in public anymore. In Corbin, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Joby Bennett says he believes the attacks should be a wake-up call for European leaders of the growing threat of the Islamic State in that part of the world.
And Belgians here in the U.S. have been keeping a close eye on the latest developments in the situation all day, and among them, a University of Kentucky student from Brussels who came here to work on his postdoctorate studies. As Hillary Thornton tells us, he says that many people in Belgium feared a terror attack would happen.
The images coming out of Brussels difficult to watch, especially for Belgians like Mark Warmos.
My wife, who's from the Netherlands, she woke me up and she said, oh my God, there's been multiple attacks in Belgium.
That news devastating for Warmos, who has been working on his postdoctorate at UK for about 6 months. But it is news that he says is not necessarily surprising.
Belgians themselves, they braced themselves a little bit. They probably saw this coming because in like this last 6 months, they rolled up two terrorist cells already, one of them connected with Paris attacks. So I think a lot of people thought it was bound to happen sooner or later.
He says he has been glued to the live coverage coming out of his hometown since the attacks happened. He says it is difficult to describe what's going through his mind when he sees those images.
Senseless violence, and I also feel for the Muslim community because this is only a small fraction of that really destroyed for the rest of the Muslims, and yeah, it shouldn't happen. Yeah, it's sad.
Certainly a difficult time for Belgium, a place Warmos says he now more than ever is proud to call home.
We Belgians, we're a defiant people, so I don't think we're gonna behave the same way like these senseless people do.
In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Warmos says his family is safe and lives several miles from where the attacks took place. The CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley will have the very latest updates on that investigation into the Brussels attacks coming up shortly at 6:30. You'll also find updates on our website, WKYT.com, and on the WKYT News app.
Funeral arrangements have been set for a woman who died after accidentally falling at Raven Run in Lexington. Investigators say 22-year-old Katie Stewart died Saturday after falling from an overlook. She was a native of Kenton County and a student at Transylvania University. Stewart's visitation will be tomorrow from 3:30 until 7 at St. Agnes Church in Fort Wright. A memorial mass will immediately follow, beginning at 7, also at the church.
Checking weather now, milder air moving into the bluegrass, but you probably have noticed some gusty winds out there today. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey joins us with an early look at that forecast. Hey, Chris.
Hey, guys, looking good out there this afternoon. You mentioned those gusty winds. We've had gusts around 35 miles per hour. You know how March goes, though. That's typical for this time of year, but the temperatures well into the 60s into most areas. Good-looking March sky that is on top of the area as of now. Look how green everything is getting. Those buds and blooms are out. 66 degrees Lexington. Winds are sustained out of the southwest, 20 miles an hour, but look at the humidity. It is bone dry out there, 23%. So we are picking up on that bad combination of high winds, low humidity. It is the spring forest fire season. Keep that in mind with a lot of burning restrictions that are currently in place. Most areas into the mid and upper 60s this afternoon. Winds right now gusting in Lexington 30 miles per hour. The occasional gust this afternoon closing in on 40 into northern Kentucky, 38 miles per hour with the gusts right now into the Covington, Cincinnati Cincinnati area. Nothing on your Defender radar network. Let's bounce it out a little bit, show you what's going on well to our west. Area of low pressure by the time we roll into Thursday is right on top of central and eastern Kentucky. Ahead of that, the gusty winds keep blowing. Those winds will eventually blow thunderstorms into town for Thursday. We will track that and focus on the all-important Easter Sunday forecast, guys, when I come back in a matter of minutes.
It is a well-known place to hike here in central Kentucky. Many people go to the Pinnacles in Madison County to enjoy a spectacular view from the top.
But tonight, vandals have taken away some of its beauty. Sean Moody has the story, new at 6.
On a clear day like today, people come up here to West Pinnacle Summit to get a look at this view. You can see miles and miles toward Richmond and Lexington, but today it's not this overlook that's getting the attention, it's what's on top of these rocks. Erica Olson comes up here pretty often.
And it's just the best view I have found as close to Lexington.
It's about a mile up the trail to get to the summit.
But if you have the right shoes, you can get over that way.
You gotta have some climbing skills.
If you have a backpack, you'll get stuck.
But the climb finished a little differently today.
And there is a ton of graffiti up here.
I wasn't able to get my camera up there, so Erica took some pictures for me. Here's what she saw.
Literally covering the whole entire top of this rock.
Berea College owns the land here. A forester said vandalism like this has gotten a lot more frequent in the past couple of years. Erica's worried the vandalism will turn people away.
I mean, it makes it trashy.
A Berea College forester said to get that paint off, they'll have to bring a generator all the way up the trail to the summit to power drills with brushes attached. No small task to deal with something Erica says just shouldn't have happened.
For them to think this is, maybe some funny prank, it's definitely not.
Now, the Berea College forestry people tell me they do have some security around the restrooms, but as far as up here on the summit, they said they just can't monitor that. In Berea, Sean Moody, WKYT.
There's no timetable for when they will be able to remove that graffiti.
He had been battling a terminal disease. Next, how a community gave a canine officer a final salute today.
Then bringing the beach to the bluegrass, how a man is using sand to create a work of art. New tonight, people in Mount Sterling gathered to give a canine officer a final salute.
Mount Sterling police say canine officer Paco had been suffering from a terminal disease and had to be put down today, so police gave him a final ride through his favorite places. They say that law enforcement agencies and firefighters gathered along the route to honor Paco for his hard work with the Mount Sterling police.
If you drove or walked by Triangle Park in downtown Lexington today, you might have wondered why the park has so much sand. Here's why. Damon Farmer, a Grandmaster sand champion, is turning 21 tons of sand into a sand sculpture at Triangle Park. The Versailles native will work on the sculpture tomorrow through Saturday. He says he wants to bring something unique to Central Kentucky.
If they get a smile from it, I'll be delighted. You know, it's something that maybe a lot of people haven't seen in person. They've probably maybe seen photos of sand sculptures online, but it's a different thing to see it live and really be here for it.
We don't know what he's going to create, but he says it will have a bluegrass theme.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Sure, he's ready to fight the elements. We've got the winds and eventually some rain that'll be coming on into town, but not until we get into the day on Thursday. Those winds this afternoon taking center stage along with the nice conditions. Gusts around 35 miles an hour. Look at our live sky cams from across the entire area. It doesn't matter which location we look at. We're seeing more in the way of some sunshine. Eastern Kentucky, central Kentucky, west central parts of the area. A little more in the way of some high clouds, but overall looking good. How about those temperatures? Mid and upper 60s this afternoon with sunshine around. Folks out and about enjoying it. Hold on to your hats, though. Those winds right now cranking to around 30, 35 miles per hour into many areas. It's another dry day out there. We could use a little rain. We've got it coming as we go into our Thursday in the form of showers and storms. Already now beginning to see some of those clouds increasing ahead of our storm system that arrives Thursday. So you know what that means? Your Wednesday's in pretty good shape again. 65 to 70 into most areas. Enough sunshine, you'll hit the low 70s tomorrow. Winds similar to what we had today, 35 miles per hour at times. But again, plenty of sunshine. Now we go to Thursday. Early in the day, pretty good. second half of the day, yeah, not so good. Cold front is right on top of the area by that time. This is a potent storm, by the way, that will have a lot of gusty winds ahead of that. Snow and a lot of it behind it into parts of the high plains, the Midwest, and into the Great Lakes. We're not worried about anything like that, but a strong thunderstorm or two is a possibility as we go into our Thursday afternoon and evening as that front makes its way on through the area. Hour by hour forecast. Let's walk you through it all. End of the day tomorrow. Nowhere near as cold as we've been over the past couple of mornings. So forget about the frost and freezing conditions, at least for tomorrow morning, with 40s around. Tomorrow afternoon, this is likely underdone with temperatures across central Kentucky. Enough sun, we're going to hit the low 70s, southeastern parts of the state. Now, tomorrow night, those clouds will increase, winds gust up, keeping temperatures above 50 to start out the day on Thursday. Watch out quickly, though. We fire up this line of thunderstorms from west to east across the region as we go into our Thursday evening. Remember all that cold air we were just showing you behind that front that is producing snow across the high plains and Midwest on Thursday? Well, there's a chance on a northwesterly wind on Friday morning that it may be just cold enough for a couple of sprinkles or, dare I say, snowflakes. Southern Kentucky, you had a little snow in the air and on the rooftops in a few spots on Sunday afternoon. Friday afternoon, let's fast forward a little bit. Still some clouds and those temperatures that may be hard-pressed to get to 50 degrees. Winds are going to be very, very gusty over the next few days. We're looking at the gusts, and right on through the overnight, if you're a light sleeper, it may be a tough night. Those gusts, 30 miles per hour pretty much all day long. We go into our Wednesday. Still gusty. How about Thursday? You know the drill. 40 miles per hour with some of those gusts, a possibility as that line of thunderstorms races across the region. That will knock those temperatures down. 50, I'm trying to be optimistic on Friday. Enough clouds and we stay in the 40s. By the time we hit Saturday, mid to upper 60s. Good-looking start to Easter Sunday, or Easter weekend. Easter Sunday, not so good with the chance for rain increasing as the day goes on. All
right, but our temperatures are warming up.
Yeah, we got to still have a chance to play with that forecast for Easter Sunday still.
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Lee Kay's in next, and Lee Kay, the Georgetown basketball team, will play for another national title tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Sam. The Tigers have been a powerhouse in the NAIA. They'll look to add to their rich tradition tonight. And it was back to the practice fields for the Kentucky football team today. That's next in sports. For the second time in 4 years, Georgetown College is playing for a national championship. Tonight, the Tigers face Mid-America Christian in the NAIA Finals. Lauren Cash from our sister station in WYMT has a preview from Kansas City.
It's championship night here in Kansas City. The Georgetown Tigers taking on Mid-America Christian in the NAIA National Championship game later on this evening. Now, head coach Chris Briggs says in order for Georgetown to bring home its third national championship in program history, they'll need to rely heavily on their defense because the Evangels, they like to shoot it.
They shoot the three. They shoot the three, and then when you think they're not going to shoot a three, they shoot another three. They shot 900 on the season. You know, they're going to put it up. You know, we just got to do it with our defense. That's something we've talked about all year, and, you know, that's how we survive the tough Mid-South Conference. You got to guard. You know, if you let shooters get in rhythm, you're in for a long night. So that's one thing we got to make sure we're locked in on tonight is not letting them get into rhythm.
Coach Briggs bringing up how the Mid-South Conference prepared his team in the regular season. Well, the Evangels have actually knocked off two Mid-South teams on their run to the national title game. The University of the Cumberlands in the quarterfinal round and Campbellsville last night in the semis. Game time set for tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern. From Kansas City, Lauren Cash, Lee Kay, back to you.
Thank you, Lauren. Georgetown College going for its third national title tonight, facing Mid-American Christian out of Oklahoma. 8 o'clock tip. You can see it on your computer. CSPN3 will have the highlights and post-game reaction for you tonight at 11 o'clock. And for the fourth time in the past 5 seasons, the UK women have advanced to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. Last night, the Wildcats got an early spark from freshman Macy Morris. The Pineville, Kentucky native hit her first 4 three-pointers. She scored 9 of Kentucky's first 18 points. And check out the bow and arrow. Oh, yeah, like a pro. Well, she was limited to some foul trouble, though, that limited her to just 19 minutes, but she would finish with 12 points.
Yeah, I noticed, especially, the defense was going towards Michaela, and I just try to find that open spot and be ready to shoot, like I said, and my teammates did a great job getting me the ball.
I thought Macy gave us a lift early when she made her first 4 threes. she was lighting it up in warm-ups. I told her I don't know that she missed a shot in warm-ups. So you never know how it's going to go in the game. But man, she really did a good job there.
Well, let's see if she can light it up in warm-ups on Friday when the Cats host the Washington Huskies. Friday night, 7 o'clock, Rupp Arena. You can also catch the action on ESPN2. After taking the week off for spring break, the Wildcats football team completed their 4th spring practice today. UK's new offensive coaches are still installing the offense, but it's a process. New quarterbacks coach Darren Henshaw said the guys still have a long way to go.
It's a gradual process as far as being able to put everything in from red zone to third down, everything that we do offensively, and then the quarterbacks to be able to learn it. It's like riding a bike. They're going to have to fall down before they're going to get good at riding wheelies and doing stunts and all that kind of stuff.
Guys, Sam, Jennifer, back to you.
All right. Thank you, BK. A final check of your First Alert forecast is next.
Then on the CBS Evening News, team coverage of the Brussels, Belgium terrorist attacks, including the latest on the investigation.
Beautiful day. Can you top this day?
Tomorrow's going to be close.
Yeah.
Kind of a carbon copy. A lot of mid and upper 60s, gusty winds, some sunshine. Enjoy that one. Thursday will bring the thunder back into town.
Good luck to the Georgetown College Tigers tonight.
Yeah, big game for the Tigers, going for a 3rd national championship. I think they're going to do it tonight.
I think they have a watch party going on.
They do have a watch party going on, and you can watch on your computer, ESPN3.com.
Okay. Thanks for watching tonight. Scott Pelley, latest on the Brussels attack coming up next, and we'll see you tonight at 11.
Good night.